Hey, howdy, hey, it is Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Radcliffe.
And I'm Morgan Levy.
I need to get a new book to figure out or to get new opens because I'm tired of the old ones. That's
Hey,
why.
howdy, hey, I like that one.
Hey,
like
this
Woody.
guy, he doesn't need, this guy doesn't need an open, does he? Dr. Gary Layne of Grace
Not a doctor.
Ministries International.
Not a doctor. Yeah.
How are you, doctor?
I'm very well. Thank you very much. Thanks for asking. Yeah, going really well. Having a good time being isolated and insulated and getting a lot of stuff done.
Yeah, we as well. We have been socially isolated for the last couple of weeks. In fact, Monday it'll be 3 weeks, won't it, Dan, that we've been
It's
something
been too
like
long
that?
is what it's been.
What year is
you're
this
joking.
anyway? Is this 2025? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I've lost track.
Anyway, let's talk a little bit about you on the Facebook now. You asked a young lady to marry you, and surprisingly, she said yes. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, she'll love you for saying young lady. We're old now. We're both old people, but yeah, we had a great evening. We were supposed to go to a theater and watch a play, and it got canceled. And restaurants were still open, and we had dinner reservations, and then we're going to go to the play. The play got canceled. And so she had made dinner reservations for us. And I said, she said, well, let's just cancel dinner reservations. And I was like, no, because I'd called the manager and gotten a special table and gotten a special spot. And they were going to bring out a dessert or a coffee with a little book in it. And it had page by page, it had like, I love you and would you marry me, that kind of stuff. And then had a little ring for her there. So we had a little private spot in the restaurant. So it was really good. And then she said yes, so I'm a lucky man.
So
I'm surprised she didn't get confused that was not from the server, the little book saying
yeah, maybe.
married.
yeah he was a lot taller, a lot leaner, and a lot better looking, so she might have said yes. And it's like no, it was me. So.
Now I gotta ask, Morgan, you being the female in this whole group here, was that romantic? Does he get a 10 out of 10 for that, or what?
Yeah. I mean, I think almost any proposal is going to be romantic, especially if it reflects the person that they're in love with.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Wow, how deep.
That was well said. I don't know that I would agree with that, but that was well said. So.
She's not a doctor either.
Yeah, no, that was good.
I mean, I asked Donna to marry me at Captain D's. How romantic is that?
Exactly.
If it reflects the person she's with.
Depends on if you ask for extra crumbs.
Yes. Yeah, that's when you know it's love, when you get the extra crumbs.
Gary Layne with us on Zoom and on the radio, and just kind of picking his brain about the pandemic. As he mentioned, he is socially distant and isolated as well as we are, as you can see in our own studios. So let's talk about it. What's going on? I heard this morning or yesterday morning that they forecast 200,000 deaths in the U.S. because of this, and they want us to permanently stay at home, at least for a few months. So what about the fear and the panic? You talk about that.
Yeah, it's a sad thought that 200,000 people lose their lives. It's a sad thought to think that maybe they don't know Christ. And probably that's maybe more for us Christians. It should be an opportunity for us to start sharing the gospel a little bit more intently, not in an ugly way, but in a good way, to say, hey, there is hope in this. And the worst case scenario, we die and we meet our Savior Jesus Christ, and we get to spend eternity with Him. I've lost a spouse to death, and so it is a sad time to lose a loved one. We have to learn how to mourn that properly, and then those of us that are healthy need to be able to be willing to reach out to those that have lost a loved one. There's nothing you can say, and it's funny because people would say, "Oh, I just don't know what to say," but let me say a few things. And so there's sometimes you just can't say anything, and with the social distancing. Just being in contact with them, phone calls, cards, and letters. But it's sad. But, people die every day. Maybe this is bringing death into a little bit more forefront of our thoughts. Young people don't think about death at all, really. They're indestructible. Older people were like, ooh, I'm getting close to dying here. But every day people die. And so it's bringing death into the forefront of our thoughts more than it ever has before. And it's an opportunity, for us to share the gospel, to let people know there's hope. I think it's been interesting for me because I've been quarantined an extra week or so because I was in Israel when there was active cases of corona, and they basically kicked me out. And so I had to fly home 12 hours on a plane from Istanbul, with people all around. And so we social distanced for about 2 weeks, and then we got this other social distancing thing going. But it's been interesting, the people that are trying to control their environment and control what's going on around them, and they're learning finally, hey, I can't control anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so this pandemic is really an opportunity for Christians to go, you know what? Life can be scary. Things are out of your control, but there is someone who is in control and who loves you and cares about you. So share the gospel in a polite and godly way, I think.
We're talking to Gary Layne, Dr. Gary Layne, not a doctor, who is at his home. Are you at your office? Where are you, Gary?
You know, I'm hiding out at my fiance's house right now because it's a sunny day, and she has a small pond in the background, and I might get out a fishing pole later and go out there and sit and meditate and try to catch a fish.
Awesome. All right. So are you still able to do your counseling? Or are you doing it online? How are you doing it?
Yeah, Grace Ministries really is in a great spot. We have all our counselors hooked up with remote video counseling. And so we're counseling probably more than we were maybe with people remotely. People are wanting to be in touch with us. So all of our counselors are set up for remote counseling. You can call our office 770-690-0433, and talk to Liz, and she'll set you up with a video appointment. People that are arguing with their spouses, I have them sit in their car in the driveway, and so they're actually in the car. I've been counseling a couple about their adult children, and they're sitting both in their car in the driveway while the kid is in the house. And so, yeah, we're creative with that. But all our counselors are remote. So, yeah,
Cool.
Absolutely. Call the office, and we are counseling away. It's wonderful.
Gary, so you just got engaged in the midst of a pandemic. What does the wedding planning season
Great
look
timing,
like?
Gary.
I'm on the other end of that, where we just moved our wedding actually due to everything going on. So what does it look like just starting that journey out in the midst of a pandemic?
Once again, it's something there's no control over, is there? So I was able to get to a store to get a ring and stuff earlier, so that worked out okay. But yeah, we're like gonna do a Facebook Live wedding. There's gonna be a minister and maybe a couple of family members there, and then we'll have a party later. And so that's really all you can do. You can just adjust. Again, it's a thing you can't control. So you can argue with it, you can fight it, you can say this isn't fair and that's not right. But in the long run, it's more about being with family and connecting with each other and knowing that God is in control. So we're rolling right along. She's trying to look at dresses on the internet and talking to some stores about, can you send a few mail order bride. This is a mail order bridal dress. So so she's had to order a dress. Facebook Live, you can do your wedding anywhere. I guess all we need is an internet connection. So
yeah, you can do it on the beach, like I'm sitting here in front of the beach. If you want to do it here,
I love that.
Yeah, you've been at the beach getting a tan. It's not working though. I don't know.
I know. I'm still.
I do want to ask, because we are practicing social distancing. Are you leaving room for Jesus in your relationship here before? Should we meddle? Should we get into that?
Well, he is a friend that sticks closer than a brother. So I don't know how close.
Good answer, Doc.
Oh boy, he should do stand-up.
My brothers live in other states, so I guess he's around here somewhere. So.
I got you. Dr. Gary Layne, gmed.org, Grace Ministries International. Not only that, but you've got a YouTube channel. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I just have some time, and God's been putting on my heart these little short messages about things. And so I've created a YouTube channel. If you go to youtube.com and type in Functional Christianity, you've got to find it that way. Just type in Functional Christianity on youtube.com. And I've got some 2-3 minute little thoughts about what's going on and how we can manage to use our Christianity in a positive way. I mean, this is the ultimate opportunity we have right now. And so I'm just putting together some small videos and doing it that way. There's also, Grace Ministry started a great website called lifeuntangled.com.
Awesome. Check those out. And hey, Gary, it looks like we're going to be in our own home studio, socially isolated, distanced for some time. So let's catch up with you in a couple of weeks and
Absolutely.
see what's going on. And I do want to ask this. You're not ashamed of us, are you? I mean, you will introduce us to her and she'll be on the show, right?
Absolutely. That's kind of her call. I kind of easing her into all this, crazy stuff. I told her she has to be careful because, I'm a good storyteller and I travel and tell a lot of stories, and a lot of them will probably be about my wife. So she has to be really careful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Gary Layne,
So-
hey, check out his YouTube and check out Grace International's gmen.org. Hey, we'll be back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
And I'm Morgan Levine.
This is Faith Talk Live. Stay there.